Illustrator file, so just select everything that's here, go to copy it, and then just hit Command-Tab into Photoshop and paste it into a new document. So when you do this, just go to File, New Document. It'll should come up with the parameters, the presets for it. The letter's 8.5 by 11. Default Photoshop is 7 by 5, so you can make it a little bit smaller to fit in there. Horizontal, 300 RGB, and just paste this in there as pixels. Goes from the clipboard here, so just going to Option and Shift key a little bit and bring it across. Now if I went ahead and clicked on this and did the bevel emboss, you see it does it right to the whole file. So I want to make an image that has a little bit more thickness to it, so you can see when I turn this off that it's transparent behind it. But if I select everything on this layer with Command clicking on the thumbnail, you'll see everything is highlighted on this. And all you want to do is select a little bit further distance to give it kind of this enamel badge look to it. So select and modify and expand is where you go. And I just put in 20 pixels just to see, and now you can kind of see this outside edge. And what I'm going to do is just put a layer beneath it, and so at least you can see through this part. Click on a color, and just go Option Delete, so you can see it's this pink edge. You don't have to make it pink, but just showing it to you. So I might want to make it just a little bit larger to encompass this dairy. So just go to Select, Modify again, and expand. And it's already set at 20, so now when you click on it, it's going to 40 overall total. And just Option Delete. So now I have a little bit more of a larger piece to work with. One layer on top, one layer on the bottom. So it's trying to get you to think of how you can utilize this. So I'm going to duplicate that just in case I want to change the color. If I do want to change the color, say to a light blue, I just have to, if I go to Option Delete, it fills the whole page, but if I include the Shift key, it just fills that part. Okay, so to click off of these two, I can also go to the top layer and Command Option Shift E, and it makes one layer that has everything combined on it. So that was Command Option Shift E that makes that, and it also does it from in here. So it's kind of a quick way to build that up. So now I have this part that I can double click and use the bevel and emboss and try to make this look a little bit more kind of like a pin design almost, if you think of it that way. So keep in mind I have the softness of this part, the size of this I can manipulate. Okay, the multiply is showing me I have a color that's black, so I can always go back in and change it to blue, make it a darker blue color. Gives me that piece. I can give it with the part that has a stroke on this part. Here it's inside. I can minimize that down just to give it a little bit more of a piece. The same idea is that the opacity of that's going to be there. I can put on a drop shadow and actually grab the shadow from here. Keep in mind it gives you the angle coincides with the shadow that you do. So just by softening these parts up, you can minimize the shadow for that. Okay, so then see if you can't create something like that, at least the beginning, and the same with the background. I can double click to unlock it, and or just create a layer above this and try to do something with the background, giving it a texture, maybe some colors, just trying to work with some of the composition. Right now I made it mostly blue. If I want the opposite on the color wheel, it would be this orangish color for the complement. I could lighten that up. Okay, I could take the gradient. Keep in mind I have it as a foreground to background. I could do it as a gradient part, so it's just shaded across, and kind of bring something like that into it. And still filter, use some of the textures under the filter gallery, so it'll give me a little bit of a look to it. So it's just trying to give you a way to kind of make something fit in there. And I could even give this a style using a stroke on the inside, for example, trying to enhance that part. You can even bevel and emboss that. So it's just trying to get you to think and work with all the different layers and connections to it. And I could have always straightened that off, but just follow that curve.